This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the fastest and easiest place to make your photography website.
Architects design the plans of blue and black and gray. Then I can clearly trace the lines and read you in that way. Designing fact from flaw, tearing down the baseness of it all.
All right, we've just arrived in Iceland and we've driven to our Airbnb, and Tim came outside to check we have a natural hot spring here, and he's already seen northern lights, and it is incredibly rare, one, to see them, two, for it to be clear in Iceland specifically, and there's no wind. It's just absolutely beautiful out here. And I'm running 5-second exposures on this Nikon 24S, and I'm just kind of taking some photos across the sky. This is also incredibly early. Like, what time is it? It's 6:45 right now.
Yeah.
And we're already getting this amazing light show over top of all the snow-capped mountains out here. I switched to the 14 to 30 f4 because the high ISO of this Nikon Z6 is really good. I don't mind pushing the ISO a little bit. Another Northern Lights tip is that your initial reaction is to go for a longer shutter speed. So you want to go for like a 45-second or a 30-second shutter speed to really just kind of get all the light in. But I've noticed that somewhere around like 5 to 10 seconds is kind of ideal, because if you are running a 30-second shutter speed, the entire sky just kind of lights up green, which is the biggest positive problem ever to have. We came here with the intention to photograph Northern Lights, and we didn't think that it could happen. I've been here lots of times where we've been weathered out over and over again. I've been lucky one evening, but today, look at this, ridiculous. All right, so now we're getting out into the water, and we're gonna try to get some good reflections before the Northern Lights are gone. So we haven't been down there yet. It might be a bit of an adventure. It's going to be a bit of an adventure. Here we go. This week on Northern Lights Hunters.
Dun, 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 dun. I've got one! Get the
net! So contrary to what I mentioned just a few moments ago, I actually really want this shot specifically with really calm, still water. So I'm going to increase my shutter speed, something like, let's do 20 seconds. F4, 1000 ISO. Turn on a little 2-second timer here. And let's see what that looks like. Let me tell you about my boat. I think I'm gonna have you guys like right here. And this is just gonna be the first shot and probably also the nicest shot that I've ever taken in my life. And I'm gonna make you guys just slowly walk up the stairs, and you can be looking at each other, and yeah. And if you wanna hold hands and just walk towards me over here, and just smile at each other and pretend it's the greatest walk ever. Cool. That looks so good. All right. That's good there. Right there's good, yeah. And you guys can look at each other. And this looks really, really great. This is by far the cheesiest photo you can take, and if you just want to be like really romantic with each other, you don't have to be smiley or anything, you can just be serious.
Photographer TJ6-3.7 let's begin. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Recite your baseline.
A system of frames of the yellow mirrorless began to spin. A system of frames interlinked within frames interlinked within frames interlinked within one stem. Frames dreadfully distinct against the dark.
Frames. Does your camera make frames? Frames. Do you use natural frames? Frames. Interlinked. Are technology and creative interlinked? Interlinked. Japan and photography are interlinked? Interlinked. Within frames interlinked.
Within frames interlinked.
Why don't you say that 3 times?
Within frames interlinked. Within frames interlinked. Within frames interlinked.
We're done. You can pick up your mirrorless.
We're out here in Shinjuku. It is blue hour. Actually, it is almost blue hour. According to Alpenglow, the app, blue hour begins at 5:04 p.m. until 5:15 p.m. So what's gonna happen is we have 11 minutes of blue hour. I'm gonna try to get as many great shots as I possibly can. One of them is behind me, and then one of them is gonna be a tripod shot of traffic with the trains and everything. Hopefully it works out with timing and everything, but we'll find out. Let's go. So I can actually kind of shoot this from right here. This looks pretty fantastic already. The amazing thing with this 24 to 72.8 is the way that it holds kind of highlights together like that. It actually does a really good job making it look as natural as possible and not giving you any crazy lens flares or anything that you just don't really want in your frame. I think we got that photo as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna head over here and I'm gonna steal my tripod from Tim's backpack. So this billboard up here is my favorite billboard in all of Japan. I don't know why, I just love dogs. Just pushing a shopping cart, it's awesome. I'm gonna steal this. Favorite billboard, prominent. Gonna go down to, what do we wanna do? 8-second exposure. I'm happy with that.
We can't stop here. This is bad country. How much for the ape? Bats and huge manta rays coming down on the car. This is not a reasonable place to park.
If you're into the abandoned roadside America just outside of Las Vegas, there are a number of cities that you can drive to and do a day trip and find abandoned spaces like this hotel behind us. I think overall the dirtier and this just more direct the sun and the light look, the more it kind of adds to the scene rather than distract from the scene, which if you're in a portrait situation and you're trying to photograph in this style of light, it's not really gonna work out. But buildings out in the hot sun, I feel like it works really well. With me, I have the 24 to 70 2.8 for Nikon Z series, and it is really all you need when you're out for a walk like this. 35mm would also be my second choice, I guess, for photography of this style. Greek Best Euros sign. The Greek Best Euros place has actually moved, and it's one of my favorite stops here, but right now we're gonna photograph their old sign that's up here. The deep blue sky here is really working well, so anything photographed away from the sun this way just looks really, really incredibly blue, and I like that a lot. I kind of like the symmetry of what's going on here. There's 3 tables. I feel like groups of 3 are always a good thing for photos, and the background is also very centered. Let's continue on. On the scale of abandoned to destruction, I feel like this building has been a little bit too vandalized by humans. The way the framing is actually coming together actually kind of works pretty well. And then there are some places that are so far gone that they've become quite interesting again, and this is an example of that, just off Mountain Springs Road here. Really a big fan of this sign and the way that it contrasts specifically with the sky, the nice blue sky, and that natural contrast of kind of the orangey red of the sign is gonna be really cool. As well as we're gonna see what we can get up to over here, because this is a pretty crazy scene. Definitely some interesting things going on here, and we're gonna continue our journey back to Las Vegas. As we got closer to our hotel in Old Havana, we realized pretty quickly that this place is unlike anything we've ever experienced. Every scene is a photo, and every element of that scene has a story. Havana has just celebrated its 500th anniversary as a city, so there's a lot of history here. The drive into Havana from the airport is really amazing. So many old cars, and I'm kind of overwhelmed with the photographic opportunities already in this city. And we've only really been here for 20 minutes. Like this, and this, and this. It's gonna be a good trip. It's crazy that in any other city in the world, this would be the most prime and expensive real estate here on the coast, but in Havana right now, everything looks pretty much ready to be condemned with a couple people still living in here. It's pretty crazy. It's really beautiful here. I sure wish I had someone to share this with.
So good when we get together. Everything's so nice, like super great, so great, so great, yeah, yeah. We could, yeah, we could stay here forever. Check out of time forever and a day. We've got a good thing going on. What more could we want? Pouring the sun, staring the stars, singing the songs in our heads. Everyone, whoever you are, and what do you get? We've got a good thing going on.
It was a sunny day when you knocked upon my door. Oh, I got a different kind of feeling, the kind I never had before. I thought this was quite the coincidence.
Yep, see the dolphins? We don't see dolphins too often out here.
What a perfect way to spend the day, just dreaming.
Piggy time. Here they come. This piggy, her name is Panda. You gonna do it so we can get a good picture? Come on, there you go. Oh, that's a nice shot. Now this little girl coming out, her name's Trixie.
We're here today at the Apple Store in Paris. The Apple Store has a pool. You can go for a swim before buying your Apple products if you want. And with me today I have the Nikon 85mm S lens as well as my Nikon Z6. If you ever want a tourist location kind of all to yourself, just wake up earlier than everyone else because nobody gets here until like 10 in the morning. So right now we're gonna go do some photos and get the place to ourselves. Thanks for watching today. This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the company that I use for all of my web hosting and my templates for my images. The thing that I love the most about it is the fact that it's just so easy to set up a professional looking web presence for your photography company. So you just put all the images that you want to put into your website into a folder, and then you just drag and drop them into your Squarespace template. And within minutes, you have something that looks absolutely professional and fantastic without a lot of tweaking. That was one of my issues with other web hosts, was that it was just very challenging to make the websites look exactly how I wanted. So if you're interested in setting up a website, look no further than Squarespace. It is really a fantastic system. And there's promo code right here. And if you go to squarespace.com/TaylorJackson, you get 10% off and you can sign up for your free trial. At some point on this channel, I'm gonna be walking you through a full setup of a Squarespace website, which really does not take nearly as much time as you would expect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.